All right, what's up guys? It's the weekend again, and so we got another video for you guys. Today's a little bit of a different flavor. Today, we have a little bit of an instructional video on something that's really been a lot of fun for us, how to make any car FPV. And so as you've seen in the past, we've done a lot of videos, specifically with this guy, that we've done some FPV crawling adventures. Way back in the day, I was doing FPV with this guy, and it's a ton of fun. Honestly, it's like a whole different hobby. And the cool thing about this is it can be swapped out pretty easily from car to car. So if you have multiple cars, you can get one cheap camera and move it around. So let's get started. First thing you're gonna need is one of these cheap FPV cameras. Now this is a FPV camera and FPV transmitter all in one. Everything in this video, we'll put links down below so you guys can see it. The next thing you're gonna need is a couple servo extensions and a soldering iron, and that's it. Just a quick precursor for those of you guys that are hobbyists that have been doing this for a long time. This is gonna be a pretty basic video. This is more geared towards some of the hobbyists who are newer to the hobby, or maybe somebody who's only done ready to run trucks or hasn't really messed with soldering irons too much, or the DIY aspect of the hobby. We wanted to just show people how simple it was to actually make your car FPV. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Basically, what we're gonna be doing overall is we're gonna be taking one of these things, hooking a servo extension onto it and allowing it to be plugged into your car's receiver. Now, most of these little guys will run off of 5 volts, and most of the car's receivers will put out 5 volts. So you're not gonna run into any issues. And traditionally, like these little Hyperion cams, they come with a little 1-cell battery adapter, which allows you to take one of these guys and put it in there. So technically, if you're looking to keep things very, very simple, these little batteries, they only last, on running FPV, they only last about maybe 15 minutes max, and you're gonna be dead. Crawlers will go out, you can go on an hour-long adventure with a crawler. The nice thing about hooking it up with this servo extension is it's never gonna die until your entire car dies. First step is you're going to take this servo extension and kind of eyeball beforehand how long you're gonna need. I'm gonna use the full length just for an example, but you're gonna cut off the side that doesn't go into the receiver. We're gonna start just by taking that and snipping it. Make sure you have good cutters because these ones are not good. You're going to want to leave 2 of the wires. I'm gonna leave the dark one for, we'll call that negative, and we'll have the other one be positive. The other one, we're going to completely remove. Take an X-Acto blade and kind of jam it in there to pull that plastic piece up, and then it should come out relatively easily. Boom, now you have your wire. From there, what we're gonna do is we are going to take the FPV camera and we're gonna solder it together. So let's go get the soldering iron. Now, if you guys are new to soldering, be sure, we'll put a link to it down below, but on Flight Test, we've actually done a how-to or a Soldering Basics video. And actually, I'm sitting in the seat of the guy who gives you the tips right now. So Matt, Sidewinder, if you're watching, buddy, thanks for using your desk on the weekend. Sorry, man. But anyways, you got your soldering iron warmed up. You wanna make sure you keep the tip nice and clean, and we're gonna get this thing soldered together.
Important step when we get this.
Good B-roll, bro.
Yeah, just get it on this little last step here.
You gotta show something, you know?
We did the thing, soldered the thing, he got the thing. Now we got a thing.
I'm gonna use the Everest here just for example. Our trusty Everest with the double body. We are going to plug this into one of the extra auxiliary ports on the receiver. Now normally there's always at least 1 or 2 extra ones. And the nice thing is that the signal is the wire that we took out. So there's gonna be no signal wire going anywhere. We are literally just sucking a little bit of power off of the receiver, which is nice. I'm gonna plug this in there. From there, this little guy should power up. There we go, got a little bit of power.
Would you look at that?
And now we should be good to go. Now, what I like to do, and this is part of the reason why this truck has 2 bodies, I have one for more of just like line of sight, and then the second one, I haven't done a ton of work to it yet, but the second one I'm going to be transitioning into FPV. Eventually, I'd like to do a more advanced FPV setup on a rig. Let us know down in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing. I'd like to get a whole custom body for one of our trucks and maybe cut out the windows and make spot for a HD GoPro, FPV camera, you know, the works. So that is something that I'd like to do in the future. Let us know down in the comments if you'd like to see something like that. But for this one, we're just doing a basic setup, and this is just going to give you that FPV on any truck. So for this one, I've already cut a little hole in the windshield. I'm gonna feed the servo wire down through there, plug this into the receiver. Just because I'm gonna be moving this camera around, I don't want it to be permanently on here. So even just for now, I'm going to just put these wires right under this Velcro. have that do the work of keeping it out of my axles. And then from there, what you're gonna need is either a piece of two-sided tape, like foam tape with 3M stuff, or what I like to use, as crazy as it may sound, is just a little bit of hot glue. And again, the idea behind this is you can have one camera and you can swap it around. So I don't want it to be too permanently fixed. If you were making more of a permanent rig, you could epoxy it on there or do whatever you gotta do to get it to stick on there. Maybe even make a 3D printed mount. But for this guy, it should be good. Another key tip is I put it on the angle of this body right here, just so the camera is angled up a little bit. And the reason why is you wanna see a little bit of the hood and a little bit of the ground. But the nice thing is if you're driving around a park, or a lot of times we drive around the shop here, you wanna be able to see your surroundings, especially if there's people around. You can see people around you. You can go up and you can look at the environment that you're in, rather than the straight on view is gonna be more of just like the grass around you and the ground. But it all depends on what kind of look you're going for. Once you have that done, it should be good to go and you're ready to go have an FPV experience.
Okay, for those of you guys that are new, these are FPV goggles. These are actually my personal ones that I'll be using here to drive here in a second. Obviously, Alex went over how to get the camera, the VTX, and get juice to it. So that's the very important thing to start. The second part of it is actually getting something to look at your FPV feed. Typically, I would recommend, just for like a low commitment type thing, is a small FPV screen like this. This is basically everything you need. This one doesn't, but most of them come with like an internal battery. Comes with 2 spots for antennas, so you have diversity. Kind of your third option, this is actually going to be in a upcoming flight test review. So we're going to be reviewing these goggles. These are the FXT Vipers, and there's lots of styles of goggles like this. But it actually comes with the screen built into the front of it. So the screen's removable, or you can wear it like goggles and have a more immersive experience. Benefit of a screen is that you obviously have more ability to see around you, what's around you. You can look at your car and look at your screen. Goggles is immersive, so it feels like you're in a cockpit, which is pretty cool too.
Cool, yeah, and we'll put all the links below for both of these options and even some budget options down below, so make sure you check those out. So Austin, what do you say? Let's get you set up with a FPV on one of these cars, and let's go for a little cruise.
Let's do it.
All right, so for this adventure, Austin's gonna be taking the Rock Ray, which we added the second FPV to. Rock Ray has been a great performer. It's been doing pretty awesome, taking a pretty good beating. And then I'm gonna be taking the trusty old Everest, and there's a reason why you guys keep seeing these things pop up in our videos, is because this thing is a trusty go-to. Obviously, it's not gonna be the best truck out there for scale crawling, but you can't beat the price point. We picked these things up for $169. Again, everything that we use in the videos, we'll put a link down below, so make sure you check them out. But the Everest, honestly, I find myself driving that thing more than at least a couple times a week. All right, man, you ready?
Do it.
All right. Now, one of the first things you'll notice with these cheap little FPV cams is that, like, when you play it back on your computer, or even like when you're uploaded to YouTube, like you guys are watching right now, the quality isn't the best. Now, when you're looking through the FPV goggles and you're literally driving the car live, it is definitely way more than enough quality to get immersed in the experience, and it literally feels like you're sitting in a giant truck, which is fun. So the other day, this is the edge line of where we mow the grass, and the other day Josh crashed a plane way out there, and instead of walking through the tall grass, he rode the lawnmower out here and he made it a path.
Where's the path?
It's right here, man. I just found it.
Are you on the path?
It's straight out.
Oh, I found you. Right behind you now.
Yeah. This is cool. I feel like I'm going through like a real jungle.
This is a real jungle, dude. It's a scale jungle.
Am I gonna fall over? What's going on?
Why? You are. Yeah.
Dang, that was crazy.
You had to take it easy where you were just at.
Yeah. This is totally more than enough to have hours and hours of fun with, but eventually, especially for you guys watching, I want to make some HD FPV trucks, some sweet FPV rigs, so we can record HD video, also have an FPV feed, and I want to go do some awesome adventures. Leave us a comment down below if you'd like to see something like that, and also what trucks would you guys recommend? A lot of you guys, I know, there are way more experienced in the hobby than we are. What kind of truck would make a great FPV rig? All right, guys, well, that does it for us. That was a ton of fun, and hopefully, I know it was a simple tutorial, but hopefully if you're new to the hobby, hopefully it'll help you get into the FPV, because like I said, FPV is almost like a completely different hobby in itself. Make sure you check down on the links below. We're gonna link everything in our videos down below, so you guys can go check them out. And actually, by clicking those links, you're helping us produce these videos. It supports us a lot, so we can't thank you enough.
Don't forget, one single Skittle to every new subscriber.
Don't listen to it.
If you see us in the future.
Don't listen to it.
No, it's true. It's true. So guys,
is that your thing that you just made up?
Actually, I pinned a comment.
I know. I just saw.
One single Skittle. I feel like it's a little something. It doesn't hurt to carry around a bag of Skittles. You never know.
Dude, knock me over. Help me.
All right, I got you, bro.
Oh my gosh, dude.